We all love the idea of an easy relationship, that low-maintenance, effortless connection where everything just flows. But what if that whole easy vibe is actually a warning sign for a much bigger problem?
So let's just get right to it with a pretty provocative question. Could the very thing that makes your relationship feel so simple, so chill, could that be the sign that it's silently falling apart? Let's dig in.
For the longest time, being a low-maintenance partner has been held up as this ideal, right? Something a lot of us try to be, the cool, easygoing partner who never makes a fuss.
And look, on the surface, what's not to love? A genuinely healthy, low-maintenance vibe is built on awesome things like independence and mutual respect. Both people have their own lives, but they still really enjoy a meaningful connection. It sounds perfect.
But here's the twist. What if that chill personality isn't a sign of a healthy, easygoing nature at all? What if it's actually a mask for emotional avoidance, a defense mechanism that's quietly, slowly creating a huge gap between you?
So this is the absolute key. We have to draw a really clear line between what's healthy and what's harmful. The difference between valuing your space and actively avoiding your feelings can be super subtle, but the consequences are massive.
And what's so interesting when you see it laid out like this is the difference in intention. A healthy dynamic is a conscious choice you both make. But emotional avoidance, that's totally different. It's an unconscious defense, usually rooted in some past hurt, and it leads you to disconnect and, without even meaning to, push your partner away.
Okay, so how in the world can you tell which side of the line you or maybe your partner are on? Don't worry, we're going to walk through 3 really clear red flags, all based on some fascinating psychological research.
So here's the first big sign. You come across as totally self-sufficient, like you never need a thing from anyone. You're the chill one. But on the inside, you feel this nagging sense of emptiness, a real lack of genuine connection.
And this quote it nails the core problem. When you're constantly squashing your emotions to seem easy, you're blocking the one thing you need for real intimacy, vulnerability. And over time, the relationship just starts to feel emotionally flat, lifeless even.
And listen, this isn't just a theory. It's backed by some solid research. Take a look at this. A long-term study followed 229 newlywed couples, and the key finding was that when husbands regularly suppressed their emotions, it directly led to a drop in marital satisfaction over time for both people. It just goes to show you, emotional silence has a very real, measurable cost.
All right, let's move on to sign number 2. You think you're being the cool one by letting small things slide. You hate conflict, so you avoid the little arguments to keep the peace. Does that sound at all familiar? But here's the danger, and this quote says it perfectly. Those tiny, unresolved issues, they don't just magically disappear. Nope, they build up, they accumulate, and what started as you trying to be easygoing slowly turns into this huge pile of resentment and unspoken tension. And what's wild is who really pays the price for all this suppression. A 2022 study on dating couples found something really surprising. The person who was stuffing down their feelings, they were the one who felt the most disconnected and suffered the biggest emotional toll. So you think you're protecting the relationship by staying quiet, but you're actually just isolating yourself. And the third and final red flag is struggling to express even your most basic human needs. You tell yourself things like, oh, I don't want to seem needy, so you quiet down those genuine desires for things like affection or support or just some quality time. You see, here's the huge paradox. Trying to be less needy doesn't actually make you feel better. In fact, ignoring your core human needs for closeness and connection, it leads to more distress, more sadness, more hurt, and even more anger. And a 2023 study confirms this big time. Researchers looked at how couples deal with that constant push and pull between our need for independence and our need for closeness. The results? They were crystal clear. When either of these fundamental human needs wasn't being met, it led directly to those negative emotions. It just really highlights that you can't ignore these things and expect to feel okay. So we've seen the signs, but what is the ultimate price of all this emotional silence? Well, it's an unseen danger that can slowly, quietly, poison a relationship from the inside out. I absolutely love this metaphor from therapist Dr. Sue Mandel. An easy partner is a lot like an easy baby. They don't make a fuss, so we just assume they don't need much, and then their needs go completely unmet. It's such a powerful way to think about it. And this right here, this is the end result. What feels like keeping the peace is actually just building a wall, a really big wall.
And yeah, maybe it keeps some conflict out, but it also keeps all the good stuff out too. Genuine intimacy, real connection, true vulnerability. Nothing can get in.
Okay, so if avoidance is the problem, what's the solution? The answer isn't to suddenly become high maintenance. No, it's about choosing authenticity. Let's talk about the path forward.
We have to shift the goal here. Stop trying to be easy. Start trying to be emotionally honest. It's really about allowing your partner to see and connect with the real you, needs, feelings, and all.
And here are 3 simple, totally actionable steps you can try. First, just get curious about your own needs. Ask yourself that question. Then, practice sharing them in small, honest ways. And finally, frame your feelings with I statements. It makes a huge difference and invites a conversation instead of a fight. It's all about building a bridge to a deeper connection.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. In your effort to be easy to love, are you accidentally depriving your partner of the chance to connect with the real you? Because showing up as your authentic self, well, that isn't a burden. It's the entire foundation of intimacy.